Hi everybody, welcome. In today's quick tips, we're going to be talking all about Agapanthus, these wonderful beauties here and how you can incorporate them in your garden. They're just great plants and we hope you're going to enjoy this video. So, you ready to dig in? Let's grow. The beautiful lily of the Nile goes by the botanical name Agapanthus africanus. She's native to southern Africa. And here's a fun fact for you. The Latin word for her actually means flower of love. And when you can see her in full bloom like here, you will understand exactly why. Agapanthus are great for your southern gardens because they're very resilient plants. They're heat tolerant, they're drought tolerant, they're salt tolerant, they're relatively pest free, and they can even handle the cold frost further north. The foliage forms a spectacular mound of strap-like arching leaves that look clean and very architectural all year round in South Florida, but in Central and North Florida, some varieties may go semi-dormant during the winter. They'll lose some foliage, but they'll bounce right back in the spring. In late spring and throughout the summer, that's when the real magic happens though. That's when this plant launches these tall leafless stalks called scapes, and then they pop open with these globe-like clusters of bell-shaped flowers called umbels. And these blooms are an absolute magnet for pollinators. You'll see bees and butterflies and hummingbirds occasionally visiting your garden. And here's a bonus tip for you. Did you know Agapanthus is generally deer resistant? Yeah, that's cool, right? So if you live in zone 7, 8, or even parts of 9, where you have some deer pressure, this is a great plant to choose because they don't tend to eat the leaves or the flowers. For garden uses, you can use Agapanthus to line a walk. You can use them in mixed borders. You can do many different things with them. They're very versatile. You can even grow them in pots. They're beautiful in that as an accent. We'll go into plant care in a minute and we'll talk about the soil needs for your plant if you're putting them in a pot. So just remember to stick around because we're going to go into that in a minute. But now what we'd like to do is talk about the different varieties that are out there, because there's some large ones that you can see here, and there's also some dwarf varieties. So you have both tall and dwarf varieties available to you if you so choose. On Agapanthus varieties, the first up here is the blue Agapanthus. It's very similar to the blue Nile. It gets quite large, just a beautiful Agapanthus, and can grow from zones 8 to 11. This one here is the storm cloud Agapanthus. It's really dramatic. It has these deep blue, moody tones. This is a really cool cultivar if you can get one. It gets quite large, so about 3-4 feet tall. She has these like beautiful, deep sapphire blue to midnight purple flowers, I would guess. What would you say the color is? Let me know in the comments below. Here we have the common white Agapanthus, the albus. If you want a clean, crisp, and tropical look that just glows in dusk or the evening hours, this is your go-to plant. The albus is a classic heirloom variety, clumping perennial, moderate growth rate, will get to about 4 feet, but tends to get a little bit less than that in her height. And her flowers are spectacular, the snow white or Arctic white, just a beautiful Agapanthus. Maybe I spoke too soon because look at this one. This here is the Queen Mum Agapanthus. She's spectacular. She gets very large, 4 feet tall, but look at these bicolor flowers. Isn't she amazing? She has a pretty moderate to fast growth rate too, but just a beautiful, beautiful plant. I just love the Queen Mum. If you can get your hands on one, that would be great. She typically doesn't grow down in zones 11. I don't see her growing very much down in the south like that, but she will grow pretty well from zones 8 to like 10. And now we're moving on into the dwarf varieties. First up here is the Peter Pan Agapanthus. This is the gold standard for a compact landscape border. It's a dwarf clumping perennial, and she'll get to about 18 inches tall and wide. Really cool because if you don't have a lot of space, this will fit the bill. And the Peter Pan likes full sun, 2-part shade. Some other popular dwarf varieties that look similar to the Peter Pan will be the Brilliant Blue, the Baby Blue, or sometimes they call it Blue Baby, and the Lilliput. And a really cool trademark one that came out called Ever Sapphire. It's really pretty. It's not so easy to get, but if you can, she's a beauty. Here we have another specialty Agapanthus, the Ever White. This is another trademark one. It's an exceptional dwarf Agapanthus, perfect for small gardens, or you can even grow her in a container. Just beautiful. She gets just under 2 feet tall. The blooms are densely packed though, and they're just this brilliant white. Some other dwarf white Agapanthus are the Peter Pan alba and the snowball. I'm curious now, what's your favorite Agapanthus variety? Let me know in the comments below, or you can send us an email. Okay, now on to plant care. In general, these Agapanthus love part sun and they like a loamy soil. And when you're installing them, it's very important to add a potting mix that can help retain some moisture and some nutrients so that your Agapanthus gets off to a good start. And the booster soil mix we recommend is 2 parts potting, 2 parts worm castings, and 1 part perlite. Mix that up and install it with your Agapanthus, and she'll love you for it. After you install your Agapanthus, make sure you tamp down the soil and then you water her real well. And then we recommend a 3-month aftercare watering schedule. Say you don't have an automatic irrigation system and you water by hand. Here's what we recommend. 3 times a week for the first month, 2 times a week for the second month, and 1 time a week for the third month. And that will help encourage her to get her roots down. But once this plant gets her roots in the ground, she's pretty drought tolerant. And on fertilizer, you don't have to fertilize to get her to bloom, but you could use a Dr. Earth 394 or something similar. It's an organic, but you do need to check with your city on blackout periods. You don't want to be adding fertilizer during the rainy season. For pest control, you really don't have to worry much because this plant is pretty pest-free. Now, one thing I want to mention about the flowers is that these beautiful flowers will come out typically between spring and summer, depending on your variety. After she's done flowering, the pom-poms fall off and you'll be left with the old flower stalks. You can cut them to tidy up. You don't have to. It's just something I want to mention. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope this was informative and you learned a lot about Agapanthus and how you can use them in your garden. But if you still have questions, you can always leave them in the comments section below or on our email at letsgroweco@gmail.com. So until the next video, bye-bye. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And tell your friends and family. We post videos weekly. Thanks.